So as the title of this video may have suggested, I have myself a new bike, a new e-bike to be specific. However, we're first going to look at my old e-bike first. So this is my original bike. This replaced my Specialized Levo. This is the Pivot Shuttle GX model. This was a very good bike, still is a very good bike. It's a 140mm travel at the back, 150 at the front, 29er front and rear. Very light.
Your fucking bike.
Oh Jesus!
Oh man!
And this is my new bike. It just fell in the canal. So I've just washed it.
Still on.
Still on.
Electric's sorted.
I'm gonna switch it off, and I think we're gonna have to go and dry it out a bit. Right. So heading back to the house, I am going to get the silicone spray, open up all the electrical ports, and try and clean this thing out. Do not want to ruin it on its first day out. Oh Jesus. Right. Bloody hell, what a start. We went back to the house, I opened it up, took this hatch off, took the battery out, dried it off as quickly as possible, tipped it upside down. A lot of water did come out of it. I've dried as much as I could with a towel. I've put the silicone spray on as many places as I can to try and drive the water out. And actually I think the best thing that we can do is go ride it now. The vibrations will free up all the water and whatnot. And then when I get back home, I'm going to have to strip it all open, dry off the headset, take the seat, just strip the whole lot down and dry it out. The electrics are working just now, hopefully it stays that way. I think I've done enough to not completely kill my new bike on its first bloody day. So just a quick overview of the bike before we get going. The Pivot Shuttle was a 140-150mm travel. This is 165, 170, both 29ers. On the Pivot we had a 504 watt-hour battery and E8000 motor. Now we have a 630 watt-hour battery and an EP8, which is the newer version. Carbon, alloy, Fox, RockShox. Pivot, Vitus, £7,000 retail, £4,800 retail, and better equipped.
That's good.
Yeah, really good.
Really good.
Oh yeah, and Pierce is holding on to the Pivot Shuttle because it's now his bike. He's had this for the last couple of months, and he's been out doing solo rides with it. But now, finally, this is a huge thing for me. We both have e-bikes and we can go on completely new adventures. That's the most exciting thing. Assuming this isn't absolutely destroyed from today, we should be able to get loads of rides out in these two e-bikes. Okay, past the Bridge of Doom. Also, I am soaking, but I've got my full suit on, so I'm wet on the inside and that'll heat up nicely after a while. I was fully submerged.
Is that your bike on?
That's it, yeah. It's quieter.
That is quiet as hell.
The EP8 is definitely quieter than the E8000 for pedalling along. We're yet to see if this thing makes a rattle on the way down, because some of them do, or a lot of them do. Right, you've got the first trail coming up. Just a short little link trail, but we'll see how she goes. Right, first thing I'm noticing instantly, off the top of the suspension is so soft, so buttery smooth, and I've always found that with RockShox versus Fox, they just have that initial stroke dialed. So I've got the Super Deluxe shock in the back and the RockShox Zeb at the front. Both are the Select models, so they are the lower end, but right now they feel pretty high end. Got to be so careful on the power here and the brakes. Yeah, got to time it. Yeah, I do feel this motor is also a little bit quicker to react and smoother in doing so. Oh, perhaps. Got stuck in the header there. Yeah, just a little bit more intuitive, I suppose. Right, we don't go down the rocks, just go down the side now, because it's so slippy. Oh, I always cut that to the inside, you cannot turn on those stones. But again, that softness of the suspension is prevalent straight away. I'm also now noticing grip levels are pretty good, probably down to the suspension tracking well, but I've also got a Maxxis Assegai at the front, which is meant to be very, very good indeed. Yeah, I feel comfortable. All I've done before today is just set up the sag and tokens and whatnot outside the house by just jumping up and down on it. This is the first riding I've done, and I feel really comfortable on it, like ridiculously so. The brakes are the Shimano SLXs as well, and they're working really well. Woo! It's the cheaper versions on the Shuttle, and I've had XTs as well, but these SLXs are feeling good. Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see the difference between the power outputs on each.
Do you want to swap for this next climb? See what you think?
Yeah, can do.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so that's a more streamlined, yeah, that is more streamlined there.
That's
and
smaller. Yeah.
Oh, so that must be the E8000, well, that's the next one up.
I think that's the 8,000.
That's a 7, I think.
Yeah, it is, because that's 8,000, that's 7.
Okay, so that is the bigger.
The cockpit feels shorter in this, I would say.
Yeah, you know, I should know.
Maybe
I should know a number. I don't know any numbers in that. I know it's more enduro-y.
Yeah, it feels like.
Yeah,
Sure.
the seat's more upright, I think.
Yeah.
Which brings you forward.
That would do, yeah.
But I think it is a longer reach.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see. Right, Eco Trail. Yeah, so he's lost 2 bars. Have I lost a bar yet?
Yeah.
You animal. Careful with my gears.
Not my bike.
Yeah, this definitely feels more of a trail bike, which it is. But it's immediately apparent once you step on it. For this riding that we're doing right now, this is actually a better suited bike. So the Vitus is in full factory settings, whereas I think Pierce has unlocked this to do 20. So I've got 5 miles an hour extra on him. I don't think we're going to get to use it. Oh. Yeah, I would like to just end this bit. There's not a huge amount in it. That's definitely quieter and slightly more power, I reckon.
You think more power in that?
More power in this.
Ah, that's weird. I thought it was more power in this.
Oh, do you think so?
I don't know if, because it's chipped, I don't know if I've done something there.
Yeah, but it's just for the top speed, isn't it?
It seems to do percentages and things as well. There was a thing that I looked at with percentage wise and it was giving me like more than.
Oh, right. Oh, you animal. I was too scared to do that. I didn't want to do that.
Well, I think I didn't mean to do it.
Right, well, you can undo it.
I want to move this down a bit because I think like as soon as I'm in trail, it starts fucking flying.
One bit you just missed there was Pierce didn't think this was any heavier than the Shuttle, even though there's like 2.5 kilos in it, perhaps even more. So, I need to double check. I think it's 23.5 and that's like 20.8.
Yeah.
So
it's like 10%.
but it doesn't feel it, so that's good. That's good. Yeah, I don't think e-bikes,
yeah,
geometry is more important, I think, in the way it feels. It feels light. Right, this is probably the only real decent trail we've got that's made for us locally. It's called Twist and Shout. Oh man. Right, as I said before, gripping these tyres is really good. It definitely is, because this is quite a slick surface here. Oh, and it's biting in really well. Yeah, oh, feeling so comfortable. Oh, not quite. Lovely. Okay, completely new day, new location, new kit. That's because yesterday was just so wet that water got in the mics. We ended up doing more of an XC ride, and then when I went to do more kind of enduro-y trails later on in the day, it was just too dark in the woods. So this is tomorrow, and I have come to Kinlochleven. Check that out. What became apparent yesterday was riding the local trails, I wasn't going anywhere near the potential of this bike. This thing is an enduro weapon. Huge travel, extremely plush. Yeah, it's just so capable, and I wasn't doing it any justice where we were. Kinlochleven, however, has the trails that are going to test this properly. So we're going to start on a little bit of the West Highland Way, which is relatively tame for around here, and then we're going to do a trail called Kennels. This is going to show exactly what this bike can do, and hopefully do a bit more justice than yesterday's ride would have done. So yeah, this is going to test the suspension. Look how rocky this is. Sharp rocks too. Oh. Yes. Yeah. Oh. Pretty happy with it so far. So watch out for those rocks, they're slippy. Yeah, this is actually more planted than my Highlander. I mean, my Highlander, in fairness, is a trail bike, and this is a heavy hitting enduro bike. But the fact that it is plusher is impressive. Whoa! Okay. Dial it back. Yeah, that's flat and smooth. Up here. I'm getting a flat tyre. So unfortunately, it definitely was a puncture, and even worse, it was a puncture right on where the bead of the tyre meets the rim of the wheel. Pretty much the worst place you could get it. I've put a patch in, bacon strips, but I don't think it's enough. I think it's already going down on this climb, so nightmare. The last thing I want is no confidence in my tyres, especially at a place like Kinlochleven, so I'll maybe try one more repair, but that could be the day done. I need to get some actual patches on it. Using my crystal ball, I'm going to answer the questions I'm guaranteed to get asked. First of all, it's a double down casing, so it is a strong casing. Secondly, not running inserts, just got the bike, don't generally run inserts, don't really need them most of the time, and running 27 psi in the rear. As now, well, I put 30 in it for coming up here, but it's probably down to about 10 now. Okay, not confident on the tyre, heading back down the road, see what I can do. Okay, let's try that again. I've put some more air in it, bumped the tyre around a bit, try and get the sealant in, let it settle, and I've banged 35 psi in it. If this doesn't work, calling it a day. If it does, good. Not many views in the country to rival this one. The fact that it's got banging mountain bike trails is an added bonus, but even if you just came up here for the views, you'd be happy. Now we'll try and just take it fairly easy down here. I don't actually want to puncture that back tyre, so think light thoughts. Sea of options. Oh. There we go. I tell you, I'm feeling very planted here. The bike's holding its line quite well. It's a 64-degree head angle. It's about the slackest I've ever had. I'm going to test that head angle a bit further. It's a huge hole. She dealt with it fine. I'm appreciating that higher front end at the moment. I'm getting less bucked over the bars, which is arguably a setup choice I've been making badly before. Yeah, I'm finding myself in a more neutral position as a result of running that stack, arguably a regular height. In fact, this thing is, even with that extra weight, is more capable than my Highlander, and as I said before, that is so impressive. Because the Highlander, despite being a trail bike, is hugely capable, especially with that high pivot. Oh! Yeah. I'd say there's zero flex off this fork. As I said, it's the Zeb. The stiffest fork I've ever ridden is the top 36. That's just basic physics there, isn't it? The brakes are remaining consistent as well. My XP's of old it would be wandering all over the place by now. We'll see if that lasts. But right now, super consistent on the bite point and in the field. Oh, look at this. Look at all those roots. I am so impressed with this thing. Never had an e-bike so capable, never even ridden an e-bike so capable. It's just so capable. So that's far more like it. That's the kind of riding and the kind of terrain that I will be using this bike on. So that was its proper test, especially that last trail there. And it performed way beyond my expectations. I knew this bike was good, I'd read reviews, heard the suspension was good, all the rest of it. But you don't really know until you try it yourself, you just have to take other people's word for it. But it tracks beautifully. The grip is really good from the tyres. I'm just going to assume that was an anomaly on the rear tyre and that it is actually quite strong. Also, like, the brakes are good, the drivetrain's good. There's nothing that I would change in this bike. Even the saddle I like. Yeah, I'm hugely impressed. So now for the thing that's going to make you question everything that I've said in this video, and that is, I got this bike for free. Vitus sent me this bike free of charge to use in the videos. However, I contacted them. I wanted an E Summit. I could have sent an email to any company that I wanted. Granted, I might not have got a bike, but I could have approached anyone. Instead, I approached Vitus. And the reason why I did that is because if I was to buy a bike with my own money, an e-bike especially, I would choose this bike. Actually, I wanted the VRX, but this is the VRS, I'll take it. Anytime I was looking, assuming I was going to spend my own money, the E Summit just kept coming up. It's just fantastic value for money. This one is £4,800. It is a hugely capable bike with excellent componentry. And yeah, you'd struggle to find anything better value. There may be some up there, but this has got to be one of the best.